Well, I assume, Brayton, you gotta be the key guy in this, but we could have Patty talk, we could have Paul talk. I mean, we've all been in on this fun the last 6 months, haven't we, Brayton?
Yes.
Very verbose answer. Can you kind of explain what the next resolution up is?
Yes, it's my pleasure on behalf of the town's bargaining team to present to the town board a proposed 3-year contract extension between the town and the police officer union. We were in extensive negotiations over a long period of time to achieve a fair settlement, and it contains several important elements that are both beneficial to the officers as well as to the town. First is that the expensive health insurance plan that we have historically offered will be closed, and officers will be transferred over and new hires into a more cost-efficient, high-deductible plan, and that is something that we did consistently with our white-collar, blue-collar, non-union employees, and so consistency will be brought there. And in doing so, though, that's a mutual gain because there's enough premium savings in the change to high deductible to provide funding in a health savings account so that the employee is actually better off in a plan that is less expensive to them and less expensive to the town. So we were pleased to be able to negotiate that. We were also able to negotiate a wage increase in each of the next 3 years that we thought was reasonable for the town's ability to pay, but also to keep the town police department competitive with other local police departments when we are all hiring from the same police academy and also competing for the same transfers from surrounding counties. And so there's always a delicate balance of ability to pay, right, and being respectful of the taxpayer as well as respecting the duties and difficulty of the position and remaining competitive for recruitment and retention purposes. Another important element is we wanted to set up incentives in the contract to encourage long, full career service among the officers. And so we had done some enhancements with longevity and spousal, surviving spouse coverage and retiree health insurance coverage that will hopefully encourage some officers to extend their careers beyond 20 years. If they do so, it'll be beneficial to them, but it'll also generate a cost savings to the town because it'll lower our turnover costs and reduce our retiree health insurance costs. So again, that's another mutual gain that we thought was important. There are also some additional language changes in the contract that will give the chief a little bit more flexibility for deploying the workforce in an efficient manner. So with that, the raises will become effective in April here. The change to health insurance will be effective in May because we want to have some education sessions to make sure that officers who are changing to high deductible health plans for the first time understand exactly how to use them effectively, and then we'll be in good shape. So that's what we're respectfully requesting the board's approval.
And along those, thank you, Brayden, that was very robust, and I will say that just earlier this week, I think the union membership voted approval on this. That's why we didn't have this on the agenda until I think Tuesday, because we just found out Monday, April 1st, that the union membership had voted it in. The other thing is, I mean, it's a bit of a semantic thing. It's a 3-year contract, but it really, as Brayden just said, financial aspects don't kick in on wages until April 1st. We didn't go retroactive on wages, but we did use some of the town's ARPA money within this contract. And I think that's important to mention. I know Paul Adams has got a looming date of April 30th for the annual submission of our reconciliation of our slightly over $4 million of ARPA money, how much has been spent, where it's been earmarked. And Paul was on the negotiation team. Paul is an invaluable member on the negotiation team because I can tell you that when numbers are flying around, having somebody who can quickly, kind of do the reactions of those numbers, Paul's invaluable. And I think we'll be reporting, I'd have April 25th at the workshop, a little bit more about the ARPA money because,
Sounds like a plan.
yeah. Other than that, any comments or questions?
I just want to thank everybody that was at the table. Negotiations went on for quite some time, and there's a lot of give and take, and a lot of stress involved at times. So I thank everyone for their cooperation and willingness to work together. So that's all I really have to say.
And I want to say that this is the first time I've been in union negotiations. I've not done that before in my position on the town board. And again, I would echo what you said, John, is that it was a very respectful process. There could have been a rush to get an agreement in place before the end of the year, but neither side was really interested in doing that. We wanted to come to the right decision for both sides. And I'm very happy with what we have settled with, and I think it is respectful to both the law enforcement and to the town. It strikes a good balance.
Yes.
Also, I would like to congrats, to you. Right, I know it's hard, and you spent a lot of time, and Paul and everybody else, and everyone that, sit through this process, and I'm very pleased. And I just want to thank you, our officers, and, and the union and everything that they have done for community.
I said that there's, I think, four of us on the 5-person town negotiating committee are here tonight. Brayden led it, Paul Adams, Patty Cataldi, and myself. I'd be remiss if I didn't say our 5th member was Chief Dennis Kohlmeyer. And I got to tell you something, to the best of my knowledge, the Chief of Police has never sat in on the town side of these negotiations. Dennis was very open to doing that, and I thought at times during the 6 months and the 8 meetings and the almost 30 hours within these things, it was a tough position that he was sitting there across the table from, really, that's his team, that's his officers, that's who he's trying to build a culture of trust and this and that. And he's on the other side of the table.
Right.
That's just a tough position to be in. And Dennis is a consummate pro. He handled himself. I think he was phenomenal.
Yeah, Chief Kohlmeyer is really one of the finest. But I would never want to be in negotiations without having a subject matter expert on my team. Because without someone who understands all the intricacies and details of the day-to-day profession that you're negotiating, you can make a big mistake.
Sure.
You can agree to something that breaks things that work instead of make things better. And so, having the chief not being there, I would never want to negotiate that way.
The other thing I want to say is you sort of glossed over it, Brayden, but there was a lot of cleanup just of language in the old contract, and I think that sometimes when you get into negotiations for this, you can focus on those maybe 3 things that are always important, and you never get back and take a critical look at the contract itself. So there were many things that both sides agreed on needed to be changed and corrected, and that was all cleaned up with this as well.
That's a great point, by the way. I've been in negotiations once, and there was some language in there that wasn't really focused on, but when you focused on it, you took a good look at it, we were like, why is this language in here? It should come out. But there was a lot of discussion before that language was allowed to come out, but great point, Patty, great point.
I think 1987 was the last time that a top-to-bottom review of the contract was conducted. 1987 was a fantastic year. I graduated high school. So I think that's good, but maybe we could have done it some in between there too.
All right.
I really want to say that Braden was a slow student, he graduated when he was 30, but I'm not going to know it. I'm going to make a motion.
So actually,
Oh,
I'm going to make the
this
motion. I would make a motion to approve and authorize the town supervisor to sign the Police 1000 Club Union contract for a term of 3 years, 2024 to 2026.
Second.
Councilwoman Cataldi?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilwoman Lynn?
Aye.
Councilwoman Wright?
Aye.
Supervisor Serrano?
Aye.